Welcome back to the apocalypse. We have returned and ZNation has returned. We are looking at season 5, episode 1. We're going to talk about Warren's new romantic exploits, Burfy's munchies, and talking zombies. That should be fun and interesting. And as always, we have a very special guest with us. We'll see you after the opening.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
This is your fault.
It is.
And the light show. It would be the red lights, though. Yeah.
It would.
It would.
not
It
great.
would. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to ZNation. Welcome back to the apocalypse. We are the ZNation after show on AfterBuzz TV. We are looking at season 5, episode 1. Welcome to the new apocalypse. How many more times can we say apocalypse and new apocalypse in this opening? So
Probably
many.
A couple more times.
Probably a couple more at least. With me, I have Michelle Cullen.
Hello, everyone.
I am Katie Cullen. Megan is on her own quest attempting to find better snacks, I think. So we'll see her back here later. And with us, we have the fantastic Michael Cassutt. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Happy to be here. Happy to be alive in the new apocalypse.
Happy to have you
Depending
back.
on what you
Welcome
mean by alive.
Yeah, that's kind of a point of contention now, isn't it?
I'm the original talker, I think. So
How long have you been dead?
years, it seems.
How are the biscuits?
Surprisingly bland. They need pepper, but
Really? They're not salty?
well, talker taste buds.
Good point. Good point. Anyway, if you want to join in on the conversation, we have the live chat open and we are using on Twitter hashtag ABTVZNation. Join in. Let us know what you think about this. And for now, I want to know what you guys thought of this first episode.
I thought it was really, really good. It was somber. It still had humor. It had some humanity in it. It had a lot of humanity in it. And it was building up to kind of a new story arc that I'm really excited to follow.
Yeah, it's not often that ZNation does a delineated A, B, and C plot. Like usually we have an A and B, or we just have an A. So having these 3 different threads that we're working with and that don't necessarily convene at the end of the episode is something I enjoyed, actually.
Yeah.
It's kind of necessary. I mean, where we left off last season, everyone was literally scattered. And that's sort of the thing you owe. Those of you who were with us last season, we're going to try and find everybody and bring them back together to the extent we can. And also, we generally don't have multiple storylines because we can't afford, we can only afford an A, maybe a B story. C and D are right out. So,
Well, we wound up with a C on this episode, so
actually
we're
we
just
did, yes.
pulling
Yeah.
out the stops for this one, aren't
yeah,
we?
we went crazy. It was the premiere.
So what did you need to put into place to start off this season?
As we find every year, we need, since the first couple of seasons where we had the Murphy to California mission, we need a new mission. I mean, that's I think the thing that makes us different from other zombie shows is although it's very easy to laugh about it, but there is hope or something changing for the better. People trying to do something to make the best of the situation, and so every year it's what kind of little small microscopic nugget of hope can we at least illuminate before we crush it?
And this
Not that
time-
we necessarily will, but that's sort of where we start out every year.
But I mean, that's kind of how it works, isn't it? Between the last CDC lab and then Zona, and then now we have Newmerica.
Do not invite us to your neighborhood, I think would be the,
That's the takeaway.
yeah.
We're already there.
Yeah. But yeah, that's just it. It's we had the CDC lab and the people we met along the way and the communities we saw, and then Zona, this last outpost of the rich and beautiful, all negatively affected by our presence. Of course, in some cases they deserved it, but we never know. So here we are in yet another new world, a new America. Potentially.
I feel like 98% of the time, if the camera follows our protagonist somewhere, whoever they come upon are just hosed.
Yeah, we're, as I said, if you see us coming, go the other way.
Which this makes me worry a lot about Cooper, to be completely honest, because our A plot here is we're following Warren. And I'm just calling them A, B, and C arbitrarily. None of them are more important than the other. That's just kind of the order in which they were introduced.
Well, and that's traditionally, the one you see around the commercials is generally considered to be the A story. That's official television writing structure rules, which we break frequently, but that's at least where we start. So yeah, I mean, the thrust of the story, the main heart of the story is what happened to Warren.
And we see a crash landing for this, and we see a shrapnel wound, which I'm surprised she made it as far as she did with that.
That was sheer determination.
She's Warren. She's been going a long time in the zombie apocalypse. It's going to take more than a, shrapnel wound to slow her down. It'll slow her down, but it won't stop her.
So I have to ask, and if this is something that you can't explain, can't say at this point, then that's perfectly legit, but what happened to her hair?
It's a side effect of her exposure to the black rain. Like
Okay.
everybody's affected. Everybody, because the idea is we launch this stuff, and it not only affected people it hit directly, but it also sort of multiplied itself as certain kind of organisms and substances do. So it's gone certainly all over North America, and perhaps over the course of several weeks or months will circle the globe, and everyone, human or zombie, will be affected. So in different ways, depending on, and as Murphy's different,
Yeah.
very different, and Warren, based on her experiences and the things she's been exposed to, is going to have a different reaction. It's not like everybody's hair is changing color, but hers had changed due to what she'd been exposed to before. Now it's something else.
I feel like Murphy's different is just the best way to sum up his character.
Yeah.
It's a new different.
What's it like writing for him? Because I feel like you get to explore a new type of chaos with each season, but then more specifically with Murphy, you get to say,
Murphy-
what is he going to do now?
Murphy is chaotic.
I was going to say,
neutral.
he is, as to sort of misquote Walter White in the latter years of Breaking Bad, I am the evil.
The danger.
The danger. He is the weird. It's liberating. I mean, I enjoy probably writing for Doc most because he channels me. But Murphy also channels all of our lesser impulses. I mean, he's the one who is still going to be the first to say, what's in this for me? Or this is bad for me, so I'm out. Which, frankly, I think is where most of us would be in a lot of the circumstances in which our heroes find themselves.
Well, and he went through the first couple years of this apocalypse going, I'm special.
Right.
I'm the one with the cure. I'm the one that he's the payload, and we have to move him
Right,
for two
right.
seasons. And then
Without me, what have you got? That was his
Newmerica,
yeah,
evidently.
Yeah. Well, but he's still special in his own Murphy way, as we
Yeah.
will see.
Yeah, we're talking about Murphy. Let's talk about Murphy.
Let's do it.
I'm not surprised that he split off to go find Warren
Mm-hmm.
because she's still the one person that he will actually actively listen to.
Yes.
He still cares about everyone else in his own special Murphy way, but she's the only one that can actually tell him to sit down, and he'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is, I think we actually called it a special bond. And there is a tangible bond between them. They have, bullet shot through one affected the other. They are linked in some kind of bizarre ZNation way. So he might even be compelled to find her. I mean, if
That's
you
possible.
actually sat him down and said, "Why are you doing this? Why are you leaving potential comfort to go walk about?" He might actually realize that he didn't actually think it through very much. That it was just sort of like an insect following a trail. He just was compelled.
That impulse.
Yeah.
I feel like all the more answer he might have had is because it's Warren. And she's out
Yes,
there, and I know
yes.
she's alive, so I have to go find her. Like,
Yes.
it's Warren.
But is it that thought that drove the deed, or is it that it's its justification for something that he finds himself doing that he can't stop? I mean, that's the thing we're sort of playing with him.
And I'm wondering if Murphy will ever introspect enough to be able to figure that out himself. I doubt it. It's Murphy.
He may have a moment. He's had some really solid deep moments.
He's had introspective.
Yeah.
That even sad, poignant moments at times.
This is true. But I also feel like as a character, he has to be led to those.
Yeah,
Very
it's
frequently.
not a default setting for him.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But
Oh.
yeah, we have his nice little quest, and we have his Warm Bodies is the zombie media that I keep coming back to for this one, because Warm Bodies had that mechanic with the zombies where they could eat someone's brain and then see their memories. And that's just what I keep seeing for this, is he's eating other zombies'
Well-
brains and going, oh, okay, they went that way.
Well,
oh, okay, this
that's
works.
Murphy, but it's kids, when you become a zombie, don't try this at home. I mean, or if you're surrounded by zombies, because it's uniquely it's Murphy's
Yeah.
connection to them, Murphy's history. He can do this. Nobody else can.
So is this his special black rain power, or is this just because he's Murphy?
Well, I think he's already evidenced this before Black Rain.
Yeah, he's been eating brains
Yeah,
for a
he-
while.
yeah,
and
he's-
having
yeah,
weird stuff
I mean,
happen.
it's like one of those things. It's a little bit of an addiction, perhaps, or just one of those things you can quit any time. But
Sure he
when in the
can.
right circumstances, he's he's impelled to do it, because there's something he actually gets, something useful he gets out of it.
I'm just happy he's done eating himself.
Yeah, that was that, of course, ultimately had a short runway. I mean, you can only eat yourself so much, I would think, and then there's not much left. So,
There we go. That's the tagline of this. You can only eat yourself so much.
Yes. So long, so far. Yeah.
Someone quote that and put it on a shirt.
Everything else is on a shirt, so maybe that will be.
Why not? But yeah, he eats the brains of the Warm Bodies, to use your reference. I still haven't seen that film, but
It's good in a turn your brain off zombie romance sort of fashion. Very, very specific
Yeah.
niche.
Yeah.
okay.
In a zombie romance fashion. That's all the rage with the kids these days,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. But it is interesting and effective how quickly it works for him to be like, oh, this is the path. Okay, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Yeah, that's just it. And it goes back to what I said about the Murphy's connection with Warren and his drive to find her. I think it is a drive, and I don't think it's necessarily concrete information he's getting from munching some source's brains. I think it's more just an impulse, like look this way, or the same way almost like a pheromonal thing. It's just it's working on him to over there, because that's really all the information he gets. Is like keep going or this direction or.
Now, the fact that zombie brains can even retain that level of information about a specific person is intriguing to me.
Well,
like,
there's-
how dead are the dead?
Well, the old saying is we humans only use 10% of our brain, and the zombie virus could have destroyed 75% of it. Still leaves a chunk that functions at some level. I mean, clearly they're shambling, they're responding. So this is just one of the little bit of holographic data that's somehow stored in there.
Hashtag
think.
ZNation science.
Yeah, which is as good as a lot of science these days.
So was this always the plan for Murphy? Did this get shifted around a bit in the writer's room? Like,
Oh, you mean this thing for this?
yeah.
Yeah, as I said, I think we had established last year at least that Murphy had developed this knack or snack, so to speak.
The snack knack.
Yeah. So where again, it's not the kind of thing that he would do successfully all the time, but in certain circumstances, he's hungry. He's in a heightened state. He's more receptive to the messages. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say 5 years ago we were thinking about this for Murphy, because we weren't thinking there'd be 5 years. So
Oh my God, there's a season 5.
yeah. Anybody in television tells you they think there's going to be a season 5 is not really working in television.
Very, very optimistic.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm glad we're here, and I've enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Pilot's not the right word. First episode so far.
Yeah. It's again a whole new direction, a few new people.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. Let's move on to the C plot. Let's talk about our
Okay.
ensemble plot. Let's
Okay,
talk
yes.
about our move up to Newmerica, such as it is. I have to say that y'all scared the hell out of me with that the first time we see Doc and he's in full on zombie makeup.
Yeah.
It's like, you didn't.
That sneak peek was mean.
It was just mean. It was just, we were just
Oh, yeah.
outright messing with people because
Oh, absolutely.
Doc, I mean, of anybody, not Doc. That's certainly why I, come in. But then again, it's, not ultimately my decision as well. So, but yeah, it was just a fun little, well, we have to do it.
It's that you say that, but nobody has plot armor. Anything could happen to anyone.
I know.
That's true. And I, tell everyone at home, watching and rewatching, nobody is safe on ZNation. Not even the writers.
And watching that sneak peek, I was like, it has been a while since someone I cared about died. It has been a while.
I would say,
just cut me
I would
deep.
say good, but sorry we activated your PTSD on that. But
See, it's
Or-
what, like,
PTZD, I guess is.
PTZD.
oh, yeah. See, for me at least, my thing with guest booking ZNation has always been, you really need this person on this episode. And 75% of the time, if I get that, it's because they die on that episode, which is why I don't loop anyone else into my guest booking so you and Megan's can stay relatively unspoiled. But every time it's, oh yeah, this person would be really good for this one. I sit here and go, why? Why would they be good for that episode? What aren't you telling me?
Well, that's just it. Nobody wants to be a spoiler. And anybody who tells you that, and I think that may have been me telling you that a couple of times, it's like this is, well, if you're going to have this individual this year, have this individual now, because otherwise the person's going to be sitting there at the bench, at the desk here going, but I'm not in this episode anymore because I'm dead. So,
Or in some cases, because I've disappeared off the face of the planet.
well, there's that too. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and we have no confirmation on Sunmay or Addie or whomever. They're out there.
Besides promotional photos with new
Yeah.
outfits.
Yes.
Promotional photos say
reassuring.
Yeah,
yes.
I don't think I'm giving anything away to say that they are part of the series this year. When, where, how, that I can't say.
And we have zero guarantees about anything. On the fan side, on the watching it side, no guarantees, no idea.
We like to call that drama and surprise.
We like to call that PTZD.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or yes.
Just mean. Effective.
Well,
but
yes,
mean.
I mean, there's a certain cruelty involved in
yes.
in all this.
Oh yeah, but like as a creator, you get to kind of sit back and be like, "Oh, this episode is the one that's airing." Pulls up Twitter, waits for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a small amount of satisfaction, but we take what we can get. Just knowing a little bit ahead of everybody else.
Yeah,
would
certain
too.
amount of just pleased Schadenfreude.
Yes, yes. So,
I'm trying
Yeah.
to figure out a good way to segue into our announcement, and I don't think please Schadenfreude is the way to do it, but we need to do this
say,
anyway.
hey, I've got an announcement.
Also, I try to come up with creative segues, and they don't always work. And this is one of those places where it definitely doesn't work, but that's not going to stop me. Hey, AfterBuzzers! Our network produces after shows for nearly all of your favorite TV shows. From dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more, there's no network that works harder to serve television fans. But we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channels, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about pesky notifications, don't be, because they're optional. So hit that subscribe button now for this channel and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did so in the comments, and we'll thank you on air. For now, thanks for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV talk. So we live on the Sci-Fi, Fantasy, and Superheroes channel, which is where all of the Marvel stuff lives, where all of the DC on CW stuff lives, and
We've got good neighbors.
we have really good
And
neighbors.
I'd like to say we're pretty good neighbors as the undead.
Well, they say good fences make good neighbors, and you usually want a pretty good fence between you and the undead. So, sure, we're
Yeah.
great neighbors.
Well, just picture us impaled in the barbed wire on your fence. That's kind of where we are.
Yeah,
Good card.
Trying to get into your
there's just this.
trying to get into the DC universe.
I mean, DC Zombies is a thing. So, I don't think it's something they've done yet on the CW, but you know what? They have iZombie, and we can always kind of just cozy up and have fun.
There we go. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Billie Jean Girl has also adopted PTZD, post-traumatic zombie disorder. I'm telling you,
Yes.
we need this on a shirt,
It's a thing.
guys. Just hashtag PTZD, ZNation.
Someone get on that.
Well, the way social media goes, it's already been a thing, and now it's already passé.
Oh,
In
that's
that-
true. It's
In
been
the time
30.
it's been like 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's been 35 seconds, so
Yeah.
that's about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are on our way to Newmerica with an ensemble of other, what was her name? Mrs. Newmeyer? what was Grandma's
McGillicuddy.
name?
I just called her grandma. Yeah,
McGillicuddy.
Yeah.
Granny.
It was one of those names, you know?
Granny McGillicuddy.
It was the Lucy character's maiden name,
Hmm.
Lucille McGillicuddy on the Lucy show. I Love Lucy. Not that I think that it was a
Okay.
deliberate choice. That's how I remembered it.
Nice.
So yes, Mrs. McGillicuddy, who is having a bad time.
She is not enjoying her trek to Newmerica.
No, she's
No.
ill. She's complaining. I think she's the one that asked, "Are we there yet?" Which I appreciate so much.
Somebody's got to ask
yeah.
that.
Yeah, even if it's a van full of adults,
Yeah.
someone has to ask that.
And usually it's Murphy. So it's kind of nice
True.
that it's a little old lady.
He'd peeled off by that point.
Yeah, he'd already answered the question.
Yeah.
His would be, "Why aren't we there yet? Whose fault is this?"
That's true. It's a very Murphy way to do
Yes.
things. But yeah, so we are on our way to, I almost said we're on our way to ZNation. Yep. It's one of those nights, everybody. We're on our way to
Call it
Newmerica.
Newmerica, the proto capital of ZNation.
There you go.
Yeah.
And by the way,
Yeah.
if you think about it, you've just touched on it, is embedded in our original title is this concept that at some point somebody's going to have to try to reboot it. You
Yeah.
know,
And the definition of ZNation has changed from a nation of Z's to a nation after Z's.
there we go. So
That was deep.
it's kind of deep. Yeah. Sorry.
I try to have
Back
at
to the
least,
trivial.
I try to have at least one deep moment per show.
It was good. That was a good
Yeah.
deep
Just at
moment.
least one.
Should we take a moment and just absorb? Okay, got it.
No, because the audio listeners are going to be like, "Excuse you, what is this dead air on my
Yeah.
podcast?" And
Yeah.
we're going to be like, "No." Speaking of podcasts, go to iTunes, rate us 5 stars, leave us reviews. We love you. I will check those at a later point when we have another break in the conversation, but I feel like now is a good time. And that is how you can support the show and keep us on the air and keep us bringing in wonderful human beings and also wonderful Z's sometimes, because we all feel like that before our daily caffeine. Yeah, support us. We love you.
Please.
Thank
We
you.
want to hear from you.
We do. We really do. We really like hearing from you guys. You're really creative.
I,
And yep.
I mean,
So-
I don't hear this, so I'm hoping they do get in touch, whoever they are, wherever they are, however they are.
Tag Michael and
All of you out there.
all
Yeah.
of your social media.
Yeah,
Yep.
Let him hear it.
He has a social media. Tag him in everything.
I am on Twitter, Cassatt ZN. So
There you go.
we'll s-
That's your call to action. Live tweet Z Nation. Tag him in everything.
That's right.
Flood the mentions.
Yes. So we have arrived in Newmerica, which is a trailer and a billboard.
I'm kind of wondering how they printed all those posters.
I
To be completely
also wondered
honest,
that.
how
I-
did they print all those posters? Is there a print shop in Newmerica somewhere that's still functioning?
well, I think FedEx Kinko's will survive the zombie apocalypse very happily. Oh, that sounds like an ad.
We're not
Yeah.
sponsored, but I'm not surprised.
But no, I mean, the printing press, goes back to the 1600s. I mean, someone it's not even, it's pre-industrial practically. It's just something somebody could do. So you don't even need power to do it. So when you see
True.
Newmerica, the real Newmerica, I mean, which they do get to eventually. I mean, the little trailer,
It's just a pit
it's
stop.
just a place along the way.
Border control, as
Yes,
it
in
were.
essence, yes, yeah, passport control.
Cookie
with
control.
a Z, yes, yeah, where people gather.
They called them biscuits, right?
Yes.
Is that spelled with a B? Biscuits?
With a B and a Z, yeah, is
Why did I say
Like
B?
ri-
I meant Z.
yeah,
Like
yes.
biscuit.
yes,
Biscuits.
yes. That certainly became our little hashtag as we were writing the scripts. That's what we called it.
Biscuits or
Bis-
Z biscuits?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's. I think it's become Z Biscuits in the show, but as we were writing it, because for the eye, it looked that way. It's a nice reminder that this is what we were talking about.
Okay.
True. Where did the idea for those come about?
I think it was just exploring the whole nature of talkers and acknowledging that even if that really what the Black Rain did is it sort of slowed down, but didn't ultimately stop the deterioration. That there still had to be people were dead. So ultimately they were going to, otherwise there's no difference between you're
True.
just a human with a hole in you because somebody shot you. Ultimately there is a price to be paid. Is like, yes, you can, if you've just died of a disease or died of something relatively non-disfiguring or non-explosive, you could survive, endure for some time, but that without some sort of intervention, some sort of equivalent of medication, you would ultimately still become a zombie. It just would take a lot longer. So somebody knowing that, seeing that, would try to figure out a way to stop it or slow it down. See, is there some way? And it would come out. In fact, our feeling was that it arose from all the other research people had done going back to the zombie apocalypse. Like, how can you turn it around? What are the medications? And that someone has stumbled on at least at this interim,
A temporary solution to a permanent problem.
Yes, just something to, I'm trying to think of medications, and I'm giving some to my cat right now to retard the dying process. Just slow it down, bring them back a little bit, and that's really what it is. It's just you give somebody something. It's remission in a little nasty gray biscuit.
Okay.
Remission from death.
Yeah.
Are there brains in the Z Biscuits?
You've heard the rumors.
I'm going to take that as a solid maybe.
Yeah,
I
solid.
would assume there'd have to be.
Well,
Possibly. Brain
the effect
supplement.
seemed,
Yeah.
yeah, brain-like. I mean, there's all
Brain
kinds of things.
substitution.
Yeah.
Soylent Z may or may not be people.
Yes, may or may not be brains. Yeah, I mean,
It may
that's
not be human brains.
That is a good point. But then you have to go hunt down zombified animals.
They're just dead animals.
That's true. But when they're dead, they go zombie.
And when they're dead, they go really dead pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a whole mythology that will be explored. It's like and that does become one of the questions. It's like, well, where do these things come from?
I like to think there's a sweet little old lady baking them in Newmerica just to keep everyone together.
Yeah.
We do have Billie Jean Girl in chat saying, what would happen if Murphy ate the Z Biscuits? That's a fun thought exercise.
That is, I believe, a point we get to at some point.
Ooh,
where,
nice.
Very nice.
The question is explored, asked and answered somewhere down the way.
So A, spoilers, and B, look forward to that.
Yeah.
In the meantime, thought exercise. I do want to hear your theories on this. Put them in the hashtag. It'll be fun. Because, we do like using the hashtag on Twitter because it sticks around. Chat goes away after the live stream is over, but the hashtag is forever. So if you have something you want us to see during the week, then definitely throw it in that hashtag. Like your theories as to what will happen if/when Murphy eats these Z Biscuits, because I want to know this too.
I want to know a lot of things about Murphy. Like why red? What does it signify? What's going to happen with it?
Yeah, I want to know a lot of things. I feel like I want to know things about Murphy is also the tagline of this show.
It is. It's the supplemental tagline.
Then our work is done. We've created a character that is endlessly intriguing and fascinating.
Yes.
Where's he going to go? What's he going to do? And why? And in what Murphy fashion? That's always he has some adventures to come.
I feel like and why can often be answered with because Murphy.
Yes, that is the ultimate answer to, it's just because reasons, Murphy reasons.
Chaotic neutral. He does what he wants.
That's right.
Yeah, I really like George. We have this brand new character. She's very Take Charge type. She is very attractive. Like I just fell in love with George when she showed up. And she may or may not be the silhouette on the poster.
I think she is. George is a BAMF. I'm so excited. Best new character. In
Yes.
a while.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you. We love her. We have other new characters to come, but George is a great addition. You're going to be seeing a lot more of her, especially next
good.
episode. It's
Perfect.
sort of features her because she just comes in the last few moments of this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, but let's not forget, we should mention it because they haven't been mentioned. But 10K is around and Sarge is still around.
Yep.
They didn't have a huge amount to do in sort of what is inevitably the reset episode or regroup, but
They're alive.
They're not only alive, they have a whole story that will take you places we haven't gone before. So
They do.
Given that this is ZNation, I'm a little terrified by that.
everyone should be just a little uneasy.
I saw the sneak peek for this Friday and I laughed out loud. I'm very excited to watch 10K and Sarge's relationship develop more.
Yes, that's it develops in a way that only we can do.
Yes.
Now I am terrified.
Yes,
I went from potential to absolutely.
absolutely terrified. There we go. That's
It's fantastic.
That's how we want you at 8:59 next Friday night.
Just like, show me.
It's like this: show me, don't show me.
One of those just like
Yeah.
watching through your
Yes,
fingers,
yes.
like
What are they going to do? Who are they going to do it to?
hiding behind the couch in utter terror, but still
Yes.
peeking around going, come on, I want to know.
But with love and a little humor, which is how we roll.
And PTZD.
Yes, well, ultimately that's where we all wind up. But but yeah, so you
How-
got Doc, got 10K, got Sarge, Warren out there in her new life, and or is it? And Murphy
Searching.
searching and closing in. A clear impression is that he's pretty close to finding her. So how will that go?
That I've been saving for predictions in a little
Okay.
bit. Because
Yeah.
that's definitely predictions territory. I want to talk a little more about George. I just absolutely
Yes.
fell in love with her. How did she come about?
This was our creative genius, Carl, who every season since the first one walks in with, since he's been living with the stories more than anybody and more consistently, and probably can't shut it off now. I would hate to see what his dream life is like. It would be all zombies all the time. Comes in as we gather and says he's got at least a basic idea, which this year was we're going to actually start building ZNation, a new nation. And obviously to do that, our characters haven't really established themselves as political leaders or people who have a vision like that. And also they're scattered. We need to bring them back together. Wouldn't it be great if we had someone who, in essence, could be the equivalent of one of the founding fathers, in this case, the founding young woman. And from that seed, George grew. So there she is, somebody who is kind of at the heart of it, whether she's driving it or not, you'll see. It's just as you look at American history, was the American Revolution the outcome of several people just getting together and trying to make it happen, or were the circumstances leading this, setting the stage, and they were taking advantage of it, or almost forced to act? There's a little bit of that we explore as well, as and does she have a vision, and what does she know, and what does she think she's doing? I mean, because she's a young woman. We're 10 years into the zombie apocalypse. How old was she when it all went down? What did she know then? What was her experience of the world before? Where was she? We'll see all that. So
I'm super intrigued for all of this. And
Yeah.
I know we didn't get a lot of her in this first
No.
episode, but I'm just kind of like, yes, please.
Yes.
I need more.
her name is, the actress's name is Katie O'Brien. So
Katie, you did fantastic.
Yeah,
you go.
you
In that
killed it
small
this
moment.
episode. Yeah,
Yeah.
she
Like-
should be sitting here soon.
hopefully.
Yes.
Well, she shows up and she's all charisma and an immediate scene stealer. And it's just,
Yeah.
no, I want to follow that person. Where are they going? What are they doing? Immediately intrigued.
I'm sorry, did you say she should be sitting here soon or she should just be here soon? Like we should have her on.
You should have her on.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not the other soon.
No, not.
No.
Yes, yes.
No.
yes.
Worth clarifying.
No, she should be here because you should have her here.
You
Okay.
say that like I don't keep you up to date on things.
No, it was just that there was a slight pause before you said soon, and I thought
You
you,
know,
were
it's-
being crafty.
It's just the
Yeah,
Z
no.
Nation tick we have. It's like everybody could die. So
Soon.
you just- yeah, soon. Yeah.
At some point.
It's automatic,
Maybe.
yeah.
Shrug.
Yes, yeah.
But new George, new world.
This is true.
Yeah.
Woman power, girl power.
I fell in love with her within the first 30 seconds of her showing up, and I'm super excited for seeing more of her. So.
It took you 30 seconds? I'm amazed. I mean, most people, it's like, there she is. Oh, she's interesting.
Well, 30 seconds is, are they going to die immediately in this shot?
Okay, yes.
No? All right,
That's
let's
your
invest.
PTZD.
It
yeah,
is.
Yeah, just like,
It is.
You won't commit right away. You need to.
That's my buffer. 30
Okay,
seconds
30
of,
seconds, yeah.
we good? They're not just going to show up and then get, okay,
Yeah.
cool, we're in.
Okay.
That is how I live my life. 30 seconds of detached, wary interest, and then actual interest once that passes.
30 seconds inside the Schrodinger's box is like, am I alive or dead?
Are they going to live through this next 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. What about you? 30 seconds?
No, probably 10.
There we go.
10 seconds.
Yeah.
She came on and I was like, yes, she should lead the world. Done.
I'd be down. Who run the world? George.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of women who should run the world, we touched a little bit on Warren, but we need to go back to this because she gets picked up by Cooper, a farmer out in the middle of God knows where, and a former medic who she immediately falls in love with, which, well, not immediately, but I do think Cooper is doomed.
I want to disagree with you, but Warren's kind of a Black Widow.
We have pattern recognition
Yep.
for this show. So we keep going through this, and there's the scene with the Thresher, and there's the scene with every time he was in danger, I'm like, he's gonna die. He's so gonna die, and he made it to the end of the episode, and I was surprised.
He's not going to die when it's just the two of them. He's going to die when he joins the group.
Or when Murphy shows up.
You just have to keep watching.
I wasn't expecting an answer to that.
Yes,
This
that's
is just
right.
me kind of like, well,
there is no answer. This is just me smirking over here.
Warren deserves a retirement on a farm, just living her best life and tilling the land, which I'm sure makes Kalita very happy.
Warren wants a retirement on a farm with running water and hot water. I think that's kind of where she is.
Yeah.
She's been through a lot.
No
she
more missions.
has.
Yeah, I mean, certainly at this point, I mean, she had a big mission all last season. That whole Black Rain drive, talk about something you couldn't control.
And then it was a betrayal.
It was.
Yeah, so like I think she's done with missions as missions.
Yep.
At least in her
Can't
mind.
blame her.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, if
Well-
I saw her go out for another mission, I'd say, "Hold on here a moment. Let's see how this
Just
is."
going to break the
How's this
fourth
gonna
wall
work?
for a second. What
Yeah.
are you doing?
Yes. Come back here.
It's like, hang on, just a moment. Can you, great,
Let's
great,
just
chill.
Let's just take a moment here and think this through.
I'm going to Monty Python this for a second. Let's
Yes.
just check
Yeah.
the script. Just
Two British bobbies come in. And,
See, I was expecting him to die, and Megan was expecting him to be evil or be a serial killer because that's just kind of how this goes down. And we didn't quite get that, but he still had a couple of bodies in the garage.
That was very sad to me.
Oh yeah.
It took me the second time watching through to pick up how they died. I missed it the first time, and it was really tragic. That was the humanity that I wasn't ready for in the season premiere. After the Zuggalos, like just comparing the highs and not the lows, but the serious tones of this show is just
the highs
crazy.
and the sideways.
and the sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The crazy
Juggalos is-
highs and the
The
sideways.
highs on the side eyes.
Yeah.
Because that's just crazy. This could happen in this new chaotic world. Of course, this
Yeah.
is going to thrive and exist in a corner of the world. But then we're also going to have this where this man was just trying to get medicine for his daughter, and his wife decided it was too hard to go
couldn't take
on,
it,
and
yeah.
they just died by carbon monoxide poisoning and turned into zombies in the car, and he just locked it out. And I was like, I can't deal with all of that in the 20 seconds you gave me to Michael.
Yes. It was hard.
It's very
Sad.
hard.
But it very much humanizes this apocalypse. And
It does.
we keep getting all of these crazy out there wild scenarios, the Black Rain, the Zuggalos, the nuclear apocalypse, the everything. But it's these small moments that we run across multiple times a season usually that go, oh yeah, individual people.
Well, that's what we hope we're doing because
It hit home
you know,
pretty hard.
the the macro challenges and the big plot stuff it's fun and it sets the stage. But if you're not caring about what happens to 10K and Sarge or what happens to Warren and Cooper, why would you watch? I mean,
Yeah.
you can get the big scale stuff in other places, movies, big frights, big bombs, big things. But we think what we do best is show you interesting, sometimes humorous people just trying to do it and doing the things that a lot of us would probably be doing and saying ourselves in similar horrible circumstances.
Yeah. And the fact that people are still able to keep a sense of humor about things, like that is how people survive
Yeah.
in awful
Yeah.
circumstances.
Yeah. I mean, I think so. I've never been stressed to that degree. I hope never to be.
Yeah.
The last few years in the United States have pushed me there a little, but no. No. Yeah. It's, you would hope that at least that is something you can always draw on.
Yeah.
And I feel like it might have still been in season 2, but the concept of the 8th sacrament of giving mercy kind of came back.
Actually, it was our first episode where it
Yeah.
was introduced. But yeah,
But it kind of came back more so in this premiere than it has been in other seasons. The characters still say, I give you mercy, but it's not a sacrament or a somber occasion the way it was when it was first introduced to us.
I think, there's some people for whom the sacramental aspect of it has never landed. They're just
Surviving.
Z's. Z's are murderous, dangerous pests. So just eliminate them.
But especially with the garage instance, I felt it there.
Yes.
Oh,
Again,
yes.
Yeah, this is the sacrament of mercy.
Yes. Yeah, it's just something that is there with, the better angels of the apocalypse, which would probably be a hashtag too.
The better angel. I feel like you all need like leather jackets for that. Red wings and skeletal wings embroidered on the back.
Right. Before we crash.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's those moments of humanity and conversely the moments of humor that really help anchor this show. And we had them both in spades this episode.
Me
This was a
too.
really good way to start off.
Well, thank Carl Schaefer. He still is the primary voice. We all help. It's a group effort. We think, especially the stories, the plotting, the lines sometimes, but ultimately it's the showrunner's show. So if it worked, he gets most of the credit, even though he would be the first one to tell you or tell the world that it is. You can't do it without a crew. You can't do it without other voices. You can't do it without the cast. But it's his particular episode. So thanks to Carl.
True. All right. Well, before we move on to predictions, do we have any final thoughts about the episode? Is there anything you'd like to say about it that we haven't touched on?
I think we've touched on so many things. I would just say keep paying attention because this isn't going where you think it's going in so many ways.
That does not in any capacity surprise me. Every time I try to call anything about this show, it's like, well, actually, we're going to do this. So,
Yeah, predictions is kind of just for fun. It's like a fortune cookie. It's just there. We're not that good at it
What's
for
your
this
final
show.
thoughts?
I loved it. I felt almost reinvigorated by the premiere, and it makes me really excited for the arc of the season and the new direction it's taking, because it's not just about a new mission, it's about building something new, and it's a little deeper.
I thought as far as coming together episodes go and as far as catching up with all of our characters and establishment episodes go, this was a very solid season premiere. Like, I really enjoyed this. We talked about the emotional moments. We talked about introducing new characters. Like, I thought this was all very well done, and I am excited to see where all of these disparate plot elements and quests and people go. Like, I am intrigued. And you're giving me this look like I should be terrified, which I am too.
No, this is I'm pleased that you're intrigued. That's what we hope we were doing. Getting you
No, you
interested enough to
succeeded.
say, okay, where is this going?
No, you succeeded.
Okay.
All right, let's do some brief predictions before we close out tonight.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
The light show and everything. I love it. Let's hear it.
Oh, am I starting?
Yes, you are, because I was not able to catch the preview. My recording cut off.
Okay. Well, I predict that classism is going to be an issue in a new, unique sense.
Between the living and the dead?
Yes.
Or?
The talkers and the still alive people. I feel like a lover's triangle might be in the future. It's way too far to tell, but if Red comes back, I'm just intrigued to see how that storyline plays out. And I don't want George to meet resistance, but I feel like because our entire group has been so used to leading and doing their own thing, there's going to be resistance in building a new democracy.
It'll be interesting going further into Newmerica to see how our group integrates, if they manage to integrate well, because they're so used to doing their thing out on their own. And also, I'd say, fairly accustomed to everything they run into just going directly to hell. Like, we have pattern recognition. I assume so do they. And I will be very intrigued to see whether Warren decides to leave her fairly idyllic farm life behind to go back with Murphy, because I feel like once he has her in his sights, he's not letting go. So it'll be very interesting to see how that turns out.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Do you have any predictions? Do you...
Any thoughts on where this might go?
It's just not fair to ask.
I know that's. I'm joking.
Yes. I would just say, watch next week.
That's the
Yes.
plan. That's always the plan.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us
Thank you.
tonight and for kicking off the season.
Happy to be here.
Are there any other projects you're working on that you can tell us about?
A couple that I can't actually tell you about.
Ooh,
So,
stay tuned.
So we will have
Maybe
to
next
follow your
time.
social medias for those then.
yes.
What
yes,
are your social medias?
Cassatt ZN on Twitter and Michael Cassutt on Facebook.
All right. Well, thanks again for coming in.
Thank
That's
you.
right. Thank you.
All right, Michelle.
I'm Michelle Cullen. You can find me on Twitter at Michelle_Cullen.
You can find Megan Salinas on Twitter and I believe Instagram at The Menguin. Follow all of her stuff there. And I'm Katie Cullen. You can follow me all over the social medias as well as on YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet. That is KIAXET. Remember to throw all your discussion and fun stuff into the EBTV ZNation hashtag. We'll talk about it all next week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.